Today here at E-MTB Review, I'm going to talk about the 5 things most likely to break on your Gen 3 Specialized Levo. All right, hopefully got your attention, right? Things that break, what have you. So yes, e-bikes, things break, and when it's down, it's hard times in the garage because you might not have a backup. I'm not a Levo hater. In the contrary, I'm actually the biggest fan. This is my favorite bike of all that the dozens and dozens that I've tried. But this bike has had some downtime, and I'm finding a lot of my friends have very similar issues. There's common themes to what can break on the Levo. And I'm really just talking about the Gen 3 Levo because a lot of the problems are unique to the Gen 3, and the Gen 3 really is the best riding of the Levo family and pretty much of all trail e-bikes out there. All right, number 1 that can break is the rear shock. So the rear shock I have here, this is the culprit right here. It's the Fox X2, and I think it was redesigned for the Levo, a little smaller can so you could fit with this sidearm. And this thing it's a thing of beauty. When it's working, it's so plush and controlled. It makes the bike feel lighter, makes it livelier. Everything you want in an e-bike shock. But after a while, maybe 6 months, it starts leaking. It starts leaking air. A couple of PSI here and there. But after a while, it's leaking 20 to 40 PSI in one ride. So, and I've had mine rebuilt twice already, and it still leaks. And it's a common theme among most of my friends. Even the rebuild doesn't work. There seems to be something defective in this shock, and you can find this in the high-end stuff, the S-Works and I think the Expert. And it doesn't have to be the Kashima. Even the other tune seems to have a problem as well. And it's a risk because once it starts leaking a lot, it interferes with experience. But if it leaks during a ride, you start out with 180, you end up with 120. Now you're kind of in danger. You do a jump or you do your normal ride, but this thing has leaked already, and you don't know it until it behaves differently from you. Your balance is off now, or it might not take that hit. So definitely get ready for this. The solution is really watch your pressures. If your shock is 6 months to a year old, it's warranted by Fox, so your specialized dealer will take care of you. And now what I'm finding is a lot of my friends are getting the brand new 2023 or 2024 model that's been redesigned to fix this issue. If you get anything out of this video, look at that shock and just get that new one if you can, all right? Number 2 thing that can break on your Levo is the battery door. For Gen 3, they redesigned the battery door where it is a double sealed system. So you have a door right here with a seal, and the plug itself has seals as well. So it's a good system because this is the main power port to your between your motor and your battery, and it really needs to be pristine and not contaminated. So this is actually version 2. So the original door, it was just a plastic hinge, and it would open like this. Sometimes you inadvertently kick it while you're pedaling. It opens, your pedaling motion rips it out. The solution, luckily they fixed this already, just like the shock issue, is they give you a new door. So they redesigned the door to have an actual spring, an actual hinge, and a spring. So when it's opened, it clears itself out of the way of the cranks. Oh yeah, it does clear, and clears it out of harm's way. So this is a warranted door. Your dealer should be able to help you out. It's an easy install. You can do it yourself. Or if not, if you don't have time, you can just buy it online. $15, I think, is what this door is worth. The number 3 issue probably is the biggest one. It is the motor. The motor can fail. And a lot of us have experienced this already. For me, no. So good news there. But I have like 5 friends where their Gen 3 motor has failed. So in the Gen 2, it fails quite a bit. Meaning I broke my motor more than 5 times because I'm riding in turbo a lot, always steep stuff, and the belt just kind of derails. And the characteristic of it is you have no forward motion no matter what mode you're in. You hear the motor, it just kind of spins, and when you try to back up the bike, it won't back up. The solution here is twofold. One is when this happens to you, just pedal out. The cranks are still engaged to the chain, and you can just pedal out. Take your time. Have some energy bars. Hopefully you have some water, and I've done it a few times. Just pedal out, take your time. Now imagine you're like on a real analog ride. That's pretty hard, and you could do it. If you are in a hurry or you have some trouble getting out, have your buddies push you on the hip, and a bungee cord. There's something called the towee rope. A lot of us carry it in the group so we can tow, help out other riders, analog or e-bikes, and this gets you out of a jam. So what you can do about it, Specialized has recognized this problem. They've strengthened this motor over the years, so every revision is better than the old one, but it's not perfect yet. A characteristic of it is after about 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, if you ride in turbo a lot, the motor gets louder. As it heats up, it gets pretty loud, and that's an indication that it's experienced somewhere. It might be close to breaking down. Okay, the number 4 issue that might break on your Levo, this is more a high-end thing, is the reverb post. So the reverb post is, unfortunately, whether wired or wireless, it has this problem where air gets introduced into the system. It cavitates and it gets trapped in there, and then the saddle will compress when you sit on it, and we're not actuating the lever. So it is an unfortunate situation, because even though in the beginning it's no big deal, this drop will increase. I've had some that are like 10 millimeters, 15 millimeters, and this is one of your contact points, and it just interferes with the ride you're pedaling or when it's down there. So luckily on the wireless one, you can just call ROCKSHOX and get a ticket number, ship this out. It's a self-contained unit, or it doesn't have any wires, it doesn't have to be connected, and they can fix it separately without having a hydraulic cable that you need to disconnect and bleed. Okay, number 5 issue that can fail on your Levo is the charging port. I mean, the main port to your battery. So this is your port right here, your plug. And what's unique about the Levo, as opposed to the Levo Cell or the Trex or any other bike, is this wire is actually your live wire. It's the main wire that connects your motor to your battery. So if this connection is not perfect, any contamination, your motor will not turn on, or it will intermittently shut off. And I've seen this happen dozens and dozens of times, Gen 2 and Gen 3. So what you need to do is ensure that you never leave your door open, especially when you're cleaning and whatnot, that no water contaminates the system right there. So make sure it's clean, and the way to clean it is get a brush that off. Inside is harder to clean, blow on it. I have a air gun compressor. Just get any debris out. Any moisture doesn't need to be there. So and whenever you plug your charging wire in, or your main motor wire in, is press it real hard, because it'll turn on sometimes, but the connection is not awesome. So just press it hard, press it, and then shut the door real well. I've seen some people, they put a foam here, so when they shut the door, it applies even more pressure to the main port. So that's a decent fix as well. So there you go. 5 things that can go wrong in your Specialized Levo. Hopefully you're armed with the tools to get ready for this. Even with these problems, most Levo owners are like, yeah, I'd buy the same bike over. It's just that good. So and these issues are now getting sorted with time. So on my next few videos, I'll give you the 5 best upgrades for the Gen 3 Levo. And actually, I can't find my full review on this after owning it for 2 years and so many thousands of miles. So I'll actually do a full review on this bike as well, and tell you, the honest scoop about the widest used bike in the world, I think, the Gen 3 Levo. Thanks a ton, everybody.